a remarkable lack of concern for outside factors, which allowed him to be light and free from any urge to pursue the things that are meant to bring us happiness. The eponymous ancient Taoist treatise is credited to Lao Tzu, commonly known as Lao Tzu or Master Lai. The work is regarded as the third most important scripture in Taoism, behind the Zhuangzi and the Tao Te Ching. Despite scholarly disagreement about whether or not Lao Tzu was a real person, numerous stories in the Lao Tzu address philosophical issues such as the nature of reality, the meaning of life, and the functioning of the mind. A recurring motif in this age-old text is people's propensity to get in the way of their own progress, which undermines an easy, unplanned way of life. We've given up spontaneity for fear, dominating ourselves with a mentality racked by need, and a nervous attempt to control the unexpected. As a result, we've grown unable and unwilling to let the universe unfold naturally. Our lives also get more agonizing the more we struggle against the cosmos, because unavoidably, things go in ways we don't like. However, how can we rejoin life's natural course? What if, like Lao Tzu, we had the courage to let go of our anxieties, inhibitions, and attachments, and wants in order to become as light as a feather? A spiritual voyage on wind. The Taoist sage is described in the second book of the Lao Tzu as being able to ride the wind and float with the clouds after letting go of the weight of the world. This came about following a time when he disciplined his body and mind and let go of ideas about what was good and evil. Following years of effort, Lao Tzu felt as though his flesh and bones had become lighter, and the walls separating him from the outer world had vanished. Without knowing it, I was being carried by the wind, he stated, drifting here and there. I did not know whether I rode on the wind or the wind rode on me. End quote. Obviously, riding the wind doesn't mean really doing so. It's a symbol for a mental state that the Taoist sages said we could enter into, where we flow through life with lightness, like we're floating. When external circumstances don't pull us down, we ride the wind because we live in harmony with them instead of resisting them. This state was also mentioned by Lao Tzu and Chuang Tzu, each in their own way. Chuang Tzu advises us to be at one with the limitless, let everything unfold naturally, and let our thoughts roam through the pure and simple. It is referred as by Lao Tzu as becoming one with the dust, and those who achieve it are immune to injury or gain, approach or alienation, elevation or shame. If nothing in the cosmos could hurt us, just think of how simple life would be. The Emperor in Yellow. The second book of the Lao Tzu, which narrates the story of the fabled Yellow Emperor, who, after ruling the nation for a long time, suffered from poor health and restlessness, provides a lovely depiction of this state of riding the wind. He had been nervously running the nation down to the last detail for years. However, he delighted in the greatest pleasures to satiate the senses when he chose to take a holiday and withdrew from his duties. However, these ways of living left him worn out and cynical. The Yellow Emperor stated, "I pampered myself too much and then pushed myself too hard. No wonder I lost my health and my inner peace." End quote. He thus made the decision to abstain from the sensual pleasures he had previously enjoyed, and to separate himself from his imperial responsibilities. He went to his personal space to practice the fasting of the heart, as Taoists refer to it. This is a reference to the practice of releasing oneself from material cravings, so that the body aligns with the natural order of things. Thus, the Yellow Emperor suppressed the senses and refrained from interfering with government affairs for 3 months. Yet it appeared that he was impatient for change. Keeping in mind that it took Lao Tzu an enormous amount of time to master the art of riding the wind, was it reasonable to anticipate outcomes so quickly? After spending a comparatively short period of time alone, the Yellow Emperor had exhausted himself. Tired, he slept during the day and dreamed of traveling to a distant realm. This kingdom didn't have a monarch, it existed on its own. Its people were neither addicted to life nor opposed to death, nor did they have needs or desires outside of their instincts. They were impartial and devoid of bias. Love and hatred therefore did not exist, and concepts such as attraction, repulsiveness, wanting, disliking, gain, and loss were foreign to these people, who appeared to be always untouched by outside events. Instead, they lived their lives like gods. I quote, "Water had no power to drown them, nor fire to burn. Cuts and blows caused them neither injury nor pain. Scratching or tickling could not make them itch. They bestrode the air as though treading on solid earth. They were cradled in space as though resting in a bed." End quote. The Yellow Emperor felt enlightened after his dream. He informed his pastors that he now understood the way, but he also realized that the way cannot be experienced through the senses or described in words. He came to understand that enlightenment is a natural state that cannot be attained by conscious thought or effort. In his case, it wasn't a dream that came to him after he gave up trying. The empire had a period of great order, and the people grieved for 2 centuries after the Yellow Emperor's passing. The art of wind riding. Of course, the question is how to ride the wind and become as light as a Taoist sage. Lao Tzu's second book provides us with multiple pointers on how to accomplish this. There is a contradictory quality to it, though. On the one hand, letting up of worldly desires and the various concepts and classifications the mind creates is a practice. Conversely, enlightenment appears to arrive out of nowhere. While it took years for Lao Tzu to become enlightened, it only took a few months for the Yellow Emperor to do the same. In both instances, the shift happened when they got to the point of ceasing to practice. This abrupt, natural transition from a heavy body to one that is lighter and floats like dandelion seeds is therefore consistent with the Taoist concept of doing without doing, or non-action. We can only arrive at our desired condition, the flow state, when we completely flow with nature's current, rather than struggling against it when we cease trying, making an effort, going somewhere, and battling against what is. Lao Tzu said that this is the path to worldly mastery. I quote, "One who seeks knowledge learns something new every day. One who seeks the Tao unlearns something new every day. Less and less remains until you arrive at non-action. When you arrive at non-action, nothing will be left undone. Mastery of the world is achieved by letting things take their natural course. You cannot master the world by changing the natural way." End quote. Yin Sheng, a disciple of Lao Tzu's, was told by the master what Yin Sheng had to go through in order to become as light as a feather. He said there was no barrier separating him from the outside world. Once he let go of the idea, it appears that he no longer felt the mental separation that had previously existed, and that the reason we feel heavy and suffer is because of that sensation of separation. Lao Tzu once questioned the Taoist master Wen Tzu about why a person who has attained enlightenment could not perish from fire or drown in water. Wen Tzu clarified that although we categorize things according to their outward characteristics, everything is essentially the same as they all originate from the same place. It won't drown us, therefore, when we stop seeing ourselves as distinct from the water. Furthermore, Fire won't burn us until we stop seeing ourselves as distinct from it. As a result, the man who was dancing in the fire said, "What are flames and what are rocks? What you're talking about is beyond me." These instances, like the tale of riding the wind, can serve as metaphors for how we can break free from the influence of the environment. Once more, they should not be interpreted too literally. Reading the entire second book will reveal a deeper meaning and tell us about the various miracles people may do when they are in the flow state, as well as possibly even more importantly how people often lose these powers. A farmer by the name of Shang saved bales of silk from a burning house, plunging from the tallest cliffs without breaking any bones, and extracted diamonds from the deepest rivers. He acted completely spontaneously, without thought, fear, or concern for financial gain or maintaining his family's good name. It wasn't until he began considering the possibilities that he realized what fear felt like and started to question his own ability. He therefore made the decision to never repeat these actions. Therefore, as Farmer Shang had nothing to lose and everything to win, he walked forward into life's arena without hesitation. He merely went with the flow of life, doing what came naturally to him, but he was blocking his own path from the minute his thoughts took control. He began clinging to rocks and branches out of fear for the awful fate he may encounter at the mouth of the river, and so, instead of feeling weightless as he still moved with the stream, his body started to feel like a heavy load. Alternatively, as philosopher Alan Watts put it in his analysis of Lao Tzu, what is this? Then, weightlessness. It means partly that you're not moving around in constant opposition to yourself. Most people move in constant opposition to themselves because they are afraid that, if they don't oppose themselves all the time, something awful will happen. End quote. Lao Tzu demonstrates to us that we cannot genuinely become indifferent and begin behaving just for the sake of the action until we transcend the duality of life, which includes things like gain and loss, attraction and repulsion, magnificent and dreadful. Considering that the result is meaningless, what is there to fear? In this state, we are not burned by fire, rather, the fire burns us. And we are not swimming in the water, rather, the water swims us. And on a stormy day, we can find ourselves riding the wind without even realizing it. Thank you for watching.